Please welcome to the stage Ebony Reed and our lightning leaders.
Hello, ComNet. I hope you were having a wonderful time in Kansas City. This town has a special place in my heart. I'm a transplant to this community, moving here full-time weeks before the pandemic, and I have felt the power of the connections, community, and relationships in this town and every corner of my life. I actually learned my first lesson about the power of relationships as a high school student growing up in suburban Detroit. Miranda Walker, an awesome hair braider, styled my hair for years. And she knew that even as a high school student, I was working toward becoming a journalist. So it was no coincidence that one day, Cassandra Spratling, a respected and longtime journalist and editor in Detroit, was sitting next to me as we had our hair braided. Yes, Miranda made that connection happen. 3 decades later, Cassandra still mentors me, and she was among the early readers for my recent book project. Our connection has been powerful for both of us, professionally and personally. I know that I'm not alone in feeling the impact of relationships. So let's hear 5 more stories from leaders in our community about connections that have shaped their lives.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anusha Ali Khan. I lead communications at the Wikimedia Foundation. It's so great to be with you here tonight. You're a beautiful crowd. So at 28, I found myself at a crossroads. I had left a career in law in my hometown of Toronto to get a degree in New York in journalism. And I was picturing this life as this hard-hitting, serious reporter. Instead, I found myself working as a newsroom intern. Granted, it was a major newsroom, but one of my biggest jobs was walking the producer's dog. Needless to say, the experience was humbling. I was not just changing careers, I was confronting a fear of failure that comes with starting over. At a particularly tough moment, I went and saw a talk by the former executive director of the United Nations Population Fund, Dr. Nafis Sadik. She talked about the wholeness of women, and she talked about the need for them to expand out of traditional gender roles and how important they were to prosperous communities. As the daughter of immigrant parents who always told her that she could be anything, it really resonated with me. I wanted to be part of shaping opportunities for women everywhere. After the talk, I approached Dr. Sadik and we connected first over fashion. She was wearing this beautiful blue sari. And then life. I admitted that I felt lost in my career. It was unusual of me to be so open with someone that I had just met, but something about her invited honesty. She invited me over for tea, and that conversation sparked a deep friendship that changed my life. She helped me see that my combination of law, journalism, and a deep desire to do good was perfect for nonprofit communications. She introduced me to UNFPA, and I got my first job there in communications. Approaching her in that way was outside of my comfort zone, but that vulnerability opened a door that would have remained closed if I had not taken that chance. Dr. Sadik was 50 years older than me, but we formed an unexpected, transformative friendship. And And she also pushed me to change my ideas and preconceptions about friendship and age and all of those things. So I hold those lessons to this day. Only now I feel like I'm often the older and wiser one. Thank you.
Good evening, CommNet 24. Welcome to Kansas City. I'd like to tell you about a special connection that I have with this city. I'm Natika Rolls, the lead director for the Black Community Fund right here in Kansas City. And it holds a special place in my heart, not just because of its culture and its community, but because of the pivotal moment that my life happened right here. In college, I double majored in dance and fashion. One of my biggest dreams was to study with the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. The year I graduated, Alvin Ailey held auditions right here in Kansas City. So I packed my bag, stretched a little bit, traveled, auditioned, and I was accepted to their summer program. However, life had other plans. Just a few months before the intensive, my husband and I found out that we were expecting our very first child. I was thrilled to be a mom, but it meant I'd be too pregnant to dance at Ailey that summer. No pliés, no jetés for me. I had to put that dream aside. Fast forward 15 years, life had taken me down a different path. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 children later, I found myself working in philanthropy at a local foundation. It was here that Kansas City surprised me again. The foundation had a mentorship program for new employees, and that's when I met my mentor, Patricia McDonald. She looked like me, she was a mom, she was a fashionista, and yes, she was a dancer. But not just any dancer. She studied, she toured, she performed with Alvin Ailey Dance Company in New York City. My mentor was mentored by my idol. Our connection was instant. Our shared history with dance became the foundation of our relationship that I didn't know I needed. Pat has been a true, authentic sister in my life, an inspiration and confidant with my professional and personal development. Knowing our journeys as a dancer warrants immediate respect and admiration. It felt like we knew each other before we even met. And when we finally did, it was as if we already understood each other's journeys. Pat continues to influence my life in great ways, from school choices for my children, all 5 of them, to right now being Pat's successor in the current role that I hold at the Black Community Fund. She will always have a special place in my life. She's a constant reminder that connections are orchestrated, even before they exist. I thought a season in my life was in the past, but my relationship with Pat reminds me that it only orchestrated my future. Thank you.
Hello, CommNet. I'm Latia Henderson, and I work for an education-centric nonprofit called Root at Denver, and I'm so excited to share a little bit about my connection with you. I was 18 years old, and my spark had dimmed. I walked the sunny, palm tree-lined campus of Arizona State University and sat in 1,000-person lecture halls, feeling like an invisible, first-generation college student. I had chosen a pathway of teaching, but just felt like it wasn't giving me the joy that I hoped for. So I called my now lifelong mentor, Mary Haynes. At this time, Mary is a mid-30s Black woman with a beautiful, bright smile who gives the absolute best hugs. And I talked with her, and in her calm and encouraging voice, she asked me questions to help me remember my why, the reasons why I wanted to help kids in the first place. She validated me so that I knew it was okay to make a change. And she helped me uncover all of the web of logistics that I needed to be able to do so. I finally felt like I could take a deep breath. I got my spark back again. I felt heard. I felt confident. The tension in my shoulders loosened. So I decided to take the leap. I changed my major to nonprofit leadership and management. I was so excited to have a sense of direction again. It's been almost 20 years in the social good sector, and I am still living my purpose. I am thriving. I have helped thousands of students and their families. And I still have Mary. Mary guides me as a communications leader, as a mom, as a wife. Every once in a while, as I ponder in my moments of reflection, I sometimes think, what would have happened if I didn't call Mary that sunny afternoon? And most of all, I look for opportunities for me to be a Mary to others in my life.
Hi, friends. My name is Eric Brown. I run a consulting firm called Brown Bridge Strategies, and I co-host the Let's Hear It podcast. It is such a joy to be able to stand on this stage with these incredible leaders. I can't imagine. By the way, this, as John mentioned this morning, this is my 21st ComNet, which is a lot of connections. I was doing this project with this woman named Donice Sandoval, who ran an organization called Lava May, which provides showers and job training and clothes for people who don't have regular housing. And Donice told me this story about a connection that she made that has changed the way I see. She was walking down the street in San Francisco, and she engaged a woman who was on the street, and the woman was startled. And she looked up at her and she said, "Can you see me? Nobody has acknowledged my existence in a week. I thought I was a ghost." And when Donice told me that story, something changed in me. I mean, what are the challenges of our day, if not the challenge? It is that it's so hard for us to see each other and make those kinds of connections. I mean, we don't have to come from the same backgrounds or have the same exact political views or things like that, but we need to find that level of empathy through connection that's going to allow us to heal as a culture. I take that lesson to heart whenever I can. If I see somebody who doesn't have a place to live or hasn't had a good meal recently, I'll try to engage them when it feels appropriate. I'll ask them their name and ask them how they are and really try to listen carefully for the answer. And it's everywhere and in everything. It's the bus driver or the guy who makes those great sandwiches down at the corner store, or that woman with the really kind eyes who was mopping the floor of my mother's hospital room recently. I fear that she doesn't feel seen every day. And I have to make a confession that I feel a little selfish because it makes me feel better too. Making these little important connections makes us better and more human. And so I thank Donice Sandoval, and I thank all of you for the connections that you are making to make us all more human. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daphne Moore, and I am part of the amazing communications team at the Walton Family Foundation. So the best leadership advice that I ever received, it was the advice I did not want. And get this, it did not come from some wise sage with decades of experience. It came from two women at two different moments in my career. One is named Amy, and the other is Deisha. Now, they were my colleagues, but they were so much more. They were my hype squad, they were my sounding board, they were my work wives, and when I needed it most, they were my tough love delivery service. So they are what I like to call friend tours. Y'all get it, right? Friend tour. It's like having a mentor, but it's actually a lot more fun. And so I want to give you just a couple of examples of what this can look like. And I will go ahead and acknowledge that I'm using some gender stereotypes here. I know this is not across the board for everyone, but this has been my experience. So guys in the room, where are you? Okay, there's a few. Great. Y'all are great at this. It comes naturally. So picture being in the conference room or maybe on Zoom, and with just your head nods and you're commenting and building on what the other guy said, you are making sure that people know what was said and who said it. Women, I think we can do a little better. And I'm not sure what it is, but I feel it may be, well, she said it and they heard it, and that should be enough. But often it's not. So now let's step outside the conference room. But back when you were in the conference room, you made a presentation and you bombed. You were terrible. So guys, you're probably gonna hear something like, you were terrible. Better luck next time. Women, we're more likely to hear, oh, that was so good. But it wasn't, and that's not what you needed to hear. And so my last example, and I hope I'm in good company here, but I am really good at kind of venting and stewing. So I don't know if any of you other good people do that. And what I really love is when someone will just come along with me for the spiral. And my friend tours, they would do that. They would say, like, you were right, they were wrong, you're so smart, you're really pretty. But then they would just say, stop, enough, move on. And for me, having those moments with my friend tours, I really would not even be standing on this stage today had they not done that for me. So I'm really big on this friend tour thing. I've written some tips. I'm gonna post them in the app. I'll post them on my LinkedIn page. Let's talk about it some more, because I think having a friend tour or two makes all the difference in your life and leadership. And I know it did in mine. Thank you.
Thank you to our friends and colleagues for sharing their stories. Thank you. They were wonderful. Powerful, authentic relationships push us to be our best selves personally and professionally. Sometimes in the hustle of life, we don't take time to express our deep gratitude for these relationships. So, please take out your phone. And yes, I did say, take out your phone. I want you to text a note of thanks to someone. It can be anyone in your life you'd like to thank. Maybe it's your partner who's holding down your family while you're here, or a mentor who helped you make important decisions, or an old or new friend that's been showing up for you. Let's send those people a quick text of gratitude. And as you finish those texts, please stand up if you have ever had a mentor. Awesome. Keep standing. Please stand up if you've ever been a mentor. I love this. We got a lot of mentorship in the room. Please keep standing. And if you're not standing and you've ever met anyone at a past ComNet and you stay in touch, please stand up. Give yourselves a hand. You are living the power of relationships. And you can all sit down now. Thank you. We've heard and seen the power of relationships in the past 25 minutes, but I'd like to share one more. I met journalist and academic Louise Story in 2019 when she was building a team at the Wall Street Journal, and yes, I joined that team. But fast forward to today, Louise and I have just finished our launch tour for our co-authored and best-selling book, 15 cents on the dollar, how Americans made the black-white wealth gap. And over the course of the last 5 years, Louise and I spent many hours on late night and weekend calls. We had some obvious similarities that we noticed when we started working together. We're both journalists, managers, had graduate degrees, worked a similar number of years in the news industry at large respected organizations. As we dug deeper, we examined our differences and those implications. Louise is white, and she's based on the East Coast. I'm a Black American, and I live here in Kansas City. She's married and the mother of 3, and I was widowed in 2021, and I do not have children. And as we worked together, we discovered key ingredients for our successful professional partnership. We listened and learned from each other. We were generous with each other. And when we disagreed, it was with respect. I'm grateful for the people in my life who have challenged, loved, and supported me. And I'm grateful for the people that I've been able to do that for as well. I hope today's program gave you a moment to think about someone you value and a moment when a relationship shaped your life. Diverse networks and relationships help us navigate the world better, do better, and be good at work. Thank you, everybody.
All right, gang. We are almost, not quite, almost done for the day. It's hard to see you guys. Maybe you guys could take the lights down a little bit, just a little bit. And could I actually give you guys a job? Could you all stand up? And actually, I'm gonna get down. Come in. Step away from your chairs, come on in. We're gonna do like a little semicircle kind of thing to the extent that we can. Come in. I'll break this thing before if I can. Come on in. I'll wait. There you go, come on in. There we go, absolutely. Come on in, everybody. There we go. I don't bite. Come on in. What's happening? Right. We'll find out in a minute. You guys in the back, I'm not gonna start until y'all come on down. I can see you back there. And I know you can't see me. I know. Keep coming. I see you. Come on. All right. I guess that's as good as it's going to get. And I appreciate all y'all who are right here, because it's a lot less scary talking to like oh God, there's a lot of people, 80 people that I can actually see and make out than the other couple hundred behind y'all. The reason that we invited Ebony and everybody else up here was to tell you something that I know Sylvia knows, and that who else can I see here? That I know Raj knows, and who else can I see here? That I know Elise knows. And that is that this is about us. The network is a community. I'm hoping after at least a day, day and a half, and a nice evening at Nelson Atkins. Did y'all have a good time there, by the way? Make some noise if you did, so I can hear you, but I can't see y'all. This is not a conference, it's a gathering. And so my hope is, as we send you off today, in the next little while, as you all know, we are going to what's called networking at night. And what that's gonna look like is, you are gonna go and meet up with folks who may live in your town, or a town near where you might live, and you might connect with a few folks from the Circles program. And these are folks who maybe share your identity, or do a job just like yours, or work in your issue area. My hope is, it won't happen over a couple of drinks, but you will begin to understand the job that's in front of us. You all have incredibly difficult work to do. Bad news gets around the world before good news gets out of bed, and y'all are in the good news business. So I hope that you will understand from some of the stories you just heard, and from the stories you are about to hear, how important it is that we're all here for each other. And so with that, let's send us out and go on downstairs to, I believe we're in the Neptune Ballroom, where we will start having a little bit of a good time together. And then my expectation is some of y'all are going to go out and experience Kansas City, and I highly encourage it. Ebony and everybody else who's a local here has been so helpful to us, and they have a beautiful, amazing town. I'm here to tell you this, I ain't got no bail money, so behave. All right, gang, we're adjourned for this part. Go on off, have a good time. We'll see you later.